Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Coal Iron Collaborative series right here on the official Coal Iron Works YouTube channel. I'm David Delagardelle, the marketing strategist here at Coal Iron Works. And folks, I don't really need to introduce this handsome stud right next to me. He is Will. This is Will Stelter, ladies and gentlemen. Brother, thank you for coming out.
Of course, thanks for having me, Dave.
I love you, I appreciate you. Will and I have been talking for years, getting to know each other from afar. Met a couple years ago at Blade Show, is that right?
Blade 2018.
Yeah, just like-minded brothers in the craft. We've wanted to collaborate for years, and you're here.
We get to do it.
Yeah, thanks to another handsome stud off camera who I'm gonna embarrass, named Logan Gillahan. Yeah, you are here collaborating. You've been here for days, forging away, having fun with Logan and Phil and all the other gang here at Coal Iron Works. What have you been up to? What have you been doing here?
Well, we forged out some Mosaic. Logan and I did just for kicks and gigs, and that project is gonna be on my YouTube channel. Played around with a big new 50-ton press that you guys are working on. I got to see the workflow and the whole operation here, and then the beautiful Indiana landscape. And then one of the highlights of this whole trip was today we got to visit a big industrial open die forge shop, which is very old school, just like something you'd see 150 years ago, with a couple of updated things. It's an electronic steam boiler that they're using to run their 4,000-pound steam hammer, and it's a natural gas-fired kiln or furnace that they're running as opposed to a big coal forge. But apart from that, these are some wild dudes who are doing some cool stuff under a big power hammers.
Yeah.
So that was really just an absolute treat.
That was so fun to see, especially along with Will today. So, but we're just grateful to have him here and collaborate. We're not going to waste time. Today, Will, I want to forge with you some pattern welded steel. You're going to be doing the forging. I'm going to document his work on camera. But we talked about forging some Mosaic-ish steel, maybe a mixture of Mosaic and San-Mai. Of course, we and some other amazing folks who want to get involved can forge it to life into something spectacular. But then another portion of it, we want to give away to you guys. So that's the plan. But can you talk a bit about the steel we're going to forge?
Sure. So the biggest part, and one of the things that I think is often overlooked, is people want to do a pattern, and then once they have the pattern, they kind of figure out what they are going to forge out of it. But if you know what you want to forge, I think it's important to tailor your pattern to that project. And so we're going to be forging a kind of fantasy, Tolkien-esque inspired sword, leafy blade, organic flowy shapes, and so we want something that's going to reflect that well. And so the pattern that we're shooting for is going to be using some Mosaic, some San-Mai, but it's going to be basically kind of a halfway basket weave of some very bold, dark colors with a couple light silver lines running through it that should look kind of topographical. Kind of
tenderly, like a leaf. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, if you guys know the kind of work we've been doing here, I'm obviously a big advocate for weird work here at Coal Iron Works. I love doing weird mythopoetic work, as I call it. So it's fun to push this guy into that realm a little bit. You're naturally of that mind.
Guy.
Yeah. We embrace weirdness here at Coal Iron Works. So I look forward to seeing what we can make out of it. Will's going to be forging the steel, of course, but we won't name names now, but we've got some awesome people coming up here on the YouTube channel. Guys, we're bringing presses to, collaborating with, and we're going to take said steel that you forge to their shops. We'll see who works on it and what it becomes.
Awesome. Let's fire up the forge.
Let's get to work.
So these are our lovely rough designs, and so we're going for something leafy, something flowy, healthy, all that fun stuff. But our first stack up here for the Damascus is going to look something like this. 1080, bright line of 15-20, dark 1080, 15-20, 1080, 15-20, 1080. And that is going to be a very bold pattern later on down the road when we get it mixed up and forged down and manipulated. So here is our initial stack up. We've got a lot of 1080 in here. All of the pieces that aren't marked are 1080, which is our dark steel when we're pattern welding, and then the pieces that I did mark are 15-20. And the reason why it looks random is because we want it to be random. We want to have some random bright lines running through our pattern. And so we're gonna get this thing welded up, and we'll tell you where we're gonna take it from there.
skippy taps with the press, bring it over here, brush it off, flex it up a little bit on the outside to get those very edges to weld, and then back in the fire for a good long soak.
got our fun stack up like so, but we're not going to leave it there and just do regular Damascus-y things to it. We're also going to do what's called a four-way, and the reason that they call it that, which actually I don't think makes sense, it's called a four-way, but really what it is a 2x2. So it's four, but in a weird way, and we're going to stack it like that, but then over here we're going to come in, mix things up a little bit, stack it like that, which means that when we twist it, things aren't just gonna be regular, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's gonna be a little bit different. Our lines are gonna have some weird endings to them in the kind of twist. We'll do fun things. about 1.5 inches, and then that would be nice because then we can just stack straight 15 and 20 and in the middle. Perfect.
So before Will and I passed this piece of steel off to our good friends so they could finish it up, I had one final task of giving a quick preview pattern test reveal. Now, because this is only a small cutoff of a very small section of the larger billet, this will be a very simple and humble preview of the overall pattern, as opposed to the finished blade that our friends will be finishing up. But you can see I'm forging it out very roughly on this 16-ton plus press, and then grinding out simple little knife just to get a glimpse. Now, there's no bevel ground into the cutting edge of this knife quite yet, so we're just going to reveal what's happening on the surface of the steel. I'm going to put it in the ferric chloride and get a very, very quick glimpse of what that pattern's going to look like. Now, we're not even seeing any of the twist, but we are seeing some of the 15 and 20, which shows up as beautiful, bright, shiny silver layers amidst a very dark, stormy sky-looking blade, which I personally love. We mentioned that giveaway billet that one of you could win. Well, this is it as well. Also, just revealing the surface pattern will be much more spectacular upon completion, so stay tuned for the whole series as you'll have a chance to win it. However, a bit of a spoiler alert, here in its current form, yet uncompleted, is what the steel looks like at the workshop of a good friend who is taking it on to finish it up. We can't wait to share the next videos in this series to show how it's completed.
Okay guys, there you have it. That was Will let loose in Coal Iron Works. I don't know who let you in to cause that much mayhem here in the shop.
I actually just called him through the wall. It was a good time.
Yes, we let you loose. You forged said steel, and this was nice. This moved at a healthy pace. We had big ambitions to start with, to be clear, folks, of pattern welded swords, crazy Silmarillion inspired stuff. I'm glad that we kind of toned it down a notch and allowed ourselves to rest and sleep.
This was just right. It leaves room for some other collaborators
Yes.
who we're both good friends with,
Yes.
who are also awesome people. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited that you let me in here.
Yeah.
What a great time. These presses are so fun. I am so stoked to get one in my shop. It's gonna be a blast.
Yes, spoiler alert, we're definitely getting that press in this guy's shop. So, like we alluded to at the beginning of the video, portion of the billet we are using on a project with some good friends upcoming, so be sure to subscribe here on a YouTube channel, because that is where we're sharing the bulk of this content. But another portion of this billet, if you are watching the Coal Iron Works channel, there's a good chance you yourself are a bladesmith, blacksmith, or want to get started in the craft, so you might actually acquire said piece of steel and be able to forge it into something lovely yourself. Will Stelter Steel.
To be fair, you don't have to steal it. There's gonna be a giveaway. Unless
This is true.
you can steal it before then.
This is true, this is true. So be sure to subscribe. When the project is done, we will share details of how you can win that piece. But for now, Will, where can people find you online?
The YouTubes and the Instagrams for the most part. YouTube is just Will_Stelter. Is there an underscore in there? That's Instagram. YouTube is just Will Stelter. To be fair, if you typed in Will_Stelter on either, you'd probably find him.
You'll find him. If you search Will Stelter, you cannot miss this guy. Thank you, brother. This will not be the last time you come out to the shop and collaborate and cause mischief, and hopefully people survive as they did this time. But we love you dearly. We're gonna have you back soon. And be sure and subscribe and stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys.